Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. Getting straight to your storm track weather now. Let's get your first forecast with meteorologist Stephen Decatur. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Andrew. It's going to be a warm day today. Temperatures warming up once again, but you know what? It's really going to be close to average for this time of year. Nothing too terribly unusual. Temperature high today forecast of 98 degrees. The average high is 97, and we are going to be falling below average as we head through the next couple of days, dropping down to 95 Sunday and then 93 on Monday. So becoming more and more comfortable as we head through the remainder of the week. Now we do have some rain chances in the forecast. Let's take a look at that. We're going to be tracking some rain chances coming up. I'll have the future track model. We'll go through the next couple of days, and you can see exactly what we're going to be seeing for this weekend in terms of shower and thunderstorm activity. There is about a 30% chance of rain in the forecast, and then we'll talk about those cooling temperatures as well. Temperatures next week are going to be feeling a lot more comfortable here in the borderland. Andrew?
All right, thanks, Stephen. Check back in just a bit. At least 3 people were taken to the hospital after a rollover this morning in downtown El Paso. It all happened at Yandel and El Paso Street around 6:30 this morning. El Paso police at the scene would not give us any details, but witnesses there tell ABC7 a car ran a red light at the intersection of Yandel and El Paso Streets and hit a pickup truck, causing it to roll over, as you saw there. The conditions of the 3 people involved are not known at this time. Authorities in West Virginia now confirming an additional 3 deaths due to massive flooding. Powerful storms, heavy rainfall, and devastating water flows have killed at least 26 people in the region since Thursday. Among those killed, a 4-year-old boy who was washed away by fast-moving floodwaters near his home. Nearly 18,000 people were without power this morning. West Virginia's governor activated 200 National Guard members who are working around the clock to rescue people stranded in their homes and cars. And investigators are working to find out what caused the gunman to shoot 2 people at a nonprofit dance studio in Fort Worth, Texas. Officers found one of the victims dead outside the studio, and several people were transported to hospitals, one of whom died from his injuries. It's unclear at this time what time the shooting happened. Police say homicide detectives are still on the scene. No word yet on if any arrests have been made. Again, now there's only been 2 reported deaths. Officials have not been confirmed how many people were injured. We mean to say that this happened outside the Studio 74. The shockwaves being felt around the world after Britain's stunning decision to leave the European Union. But this morning, there's a new battle, a petition calling for a second vote, a do-over, and already has nearly 1 million signatures. ABC's Lama Hassan is in London with the latest.
This morning, the Brexit vote fallout triggering a tsunami of emergency meetings between the founding members of the EU taking place in Berlin about what to do next. Exiting the EU is complicated and could take 2 years to formalize an agreement. Britain saying there's no rush to leave.
In voting to leave the EU, it is vital to stress that there is now no need for haste.
But the EU wants Britain to get out and get out quickly. A political earthquake erupting after the announcement was made, forcing the British Prime Minister David Cameron, who was fighting fiercely to remain in the EU, to resign.
I love this country and I feel honoured to have served it. And I will do everything I can in future to help this great country succeed.
Brexit bombshell aftershocks are hitting hard for those wanting to stay.
I burst into tears this morning when I saw the news.
But jubilation for the people who voted for an independent Britain.
Absolutely wonderful. The best news ever.
The vote showing the deep divisions in this country, earning the hashtag Divided Kingdom. Scotland overwhelmingly voting to stay in the EU, now saying it wants to go at it alone.
The option of a second referendum must be on the table, and it is on the table.
Not to mention the financial fallout.
Well, the next 90 days is full of uncertainty. Britain will have to look at its trade deals that are in place right now, its regulations that are in place right now under the European Union, and they will have to change that and redo trade deals.
And that was Lama Hassan reporting. Mexican authorities are still working to find out the cause of a deadly bus crash just outside of Juarez. Happened near Villa Ahumada at around 5:30 Friday morning. The crash left 10 people dead and 27 others injured. Villa Ahumada is less than 2 hours from El Paso. You can see from the video the damage to the bus that indicates that it may have slammed into the back of a cargo truck. We're told most of the passengers were from Torreon, Coahuila. Authorities have not yet released the identities of the passengers who were killed. And ABC7 is still working to learn more about the Fort Bliss soldiers accused of trying to smuggle 2 Mexican citizens across the border last weekend. Marco Nava Jr. and Joseph Cleveland were caught at the Valfurias Border Patrol checkpoint on Saturday on the way to Houston. One of the soldiers allegedly told investigators it's not the first time he's done it, and more soldiers at Fort Bliss are involved. Investigative reporter Cheryl Atkinson out of Washington first reported the arrest of Nava and Cleveland. She reported that they are members of the 377th Transportation Company, which maintains and operates heavy transport trucks. A Fort Bliss spokesman promised more information on the soldiers yesterday afternoon, but we were later told not to expect anything back until possibly Monday. We're also asked for a statement from the CBP Rio Grande sector headquarters. They said a statement is forthcoming, but they're still awaiting clearance by Homeland Security before more info can be released. The Abraham Chavez Theater downtown is getting a makeover, and only on ABC7 we want to see the conditions of the building right now. In this video, you can see damage to the walls and to the roof. We spoke with Destination El Paso General Manager Brian Crow. He says much of the discoloration on the roof is not because of water damage, but because of asbestos. And because of that, workers had to peel off the roof surface to add a new drain. And full restoration is planned as part of the transformation of the Abraham Chavez into the new Mexican-American Cultural Center.
Everything from things that are back of house and support areas that you can't see, to carpet and seating and wall surfaces and restroom improvements, concession area improvements. I mean, it is an entire renovation of the facility is what is being discussed.
There is no date set as to when the full renovation will begin. And organizers are hoping to eliminate the stigma surrounding medical cannabis. Yesterday, Las Cruces hosted a medical cannabis expo. Patients from all over the state of New Mexico say they are hoping to find an alternative to painkillers and prescription drugs. Organizers say the expo is meant to help educate people about the benefits of medical marijuana. It's the third of its kind in the state and the first convention in Las Cruces. Consultants there helped first-timers apply for their medical cannabis card. Doctors were also on site to determine whether a person meets the criteria for the 21 qualifying medical conditions.
I have extreme pain in my knees, and it's chronic pain, and I started using some painkillers, and I don't want to do that, and so that's why I came, see if I could get something different, you know.
The State Department of Health is experiencing a backlog in applications, and organizers there were working to improve the waits. Officials say a church in Las Cruces is being vandalized every Thursday, starting at the beginning of the month. And now the Catholic Diocese of Las Cruces is asking for your help. The vandalism is happening at the San Pedro Mission Church in La Mesa. Portions of the building have been destroyed, including the altar. The diocese says security is needed as well as financial resources to repair the damage. Donations can be made by calling the number there that was on your screen, 575-523-7577. And James Holmes' new prison location will not be released to the public. The Colorado Department of Public Safety made that announcement Friday. The Aurora movie theater shooter was transferred to an out-of-state facility in January after being assaulted by another inmate. Some argued not informing the public of Holmes' location violated victims' rights, but a motion failed on a 3-3 vote. Holmes is currently serving a life sentence for the shooting during The Dark Knight Rises premiere. He killed 12 people and injured 53 others. A new CDC report reveals how much damage the Flint water crisis has affected kids. It found during the time the city used the Flint River for water, kids younger than 6 were 46% more likely to have dangerous blood lead levels. The CDC reviewed blood lead level tests for more than 7,000 children 6 and younger to reach the conclusion. Health experts say there is no safe blood level in children that has been identified, and exposure can have an effect on every system in the body. 49 flags for 49 days in honor of those who lost their lives during the Orlando terror attack. On Friday, Governor Rick Scott directed 49 Florida state flags to be placed in front of the Florida Historic Capitol in Tallahassee for 49 days. Under each flag displays the name, age, and photo of every victim. Sunday will mark 2 weeks since a gunman opened fire inside of the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, killing 49 and injuring 53. A popular rideshare app has reached the other side of the borderland now. Uber is now available in Juarez, but not everyone seems ready to use it. Some think it will be an uphill battle for this service to overcome the dominance of the taxi industry. Others we spoke with say random kidnappings make them leery of getting in a car with a stranger who's not part of a company they know and trust. If you need a lift across the border, an Uber representative said Uber Passport, the service that allows cars in the U.S. to take passengers to Mexico, is going to be implemented in the borderland at a later date. As for the cost, a taxi from downtown Juarez to the airport costs about $10, an Uber ride about $4.25. And there are new game plans forming for the two major party nominees. While Donald Trump makes a major change and cuts his campaign team, Hillary Clinton could be looking to add more members to hers. I'll wrap up the week in politics straight ahead. Now, Storm Track weather, Stephen.
Temperatures are warming up and rain chances will return this afternoon. I'll have details.